also known as the ultimate life form, was first introduced in Sonic
they're going to talk
2
about the history of him.
2001 and served as a rival to Sonic. Sonic Adventure 2? Yeah? Sonic Adventure 2 fans?
Something's not
My
right
personal
there.
favorite.
Thank you.
His next appearance
Why are
were
they
Sonic
missing
Heroes
Sonic
and
2006?
Sonic Battle in 2004. Sonic Battle? We have
Why?
Sonic Battle fans here. Yeah.
That's
He had his
terrible.
first
They're missing
standalone
Sonic
game in
2006 there.
2005, Shadow the Hedgehog. Wow, look at that.
W lore?
Outside of
Almost.
just the games, he made several appearances.
Surprised they
in
showed
various
Sonic
forms of
Battle,
Sonic
though.
media,
That's kind of
including
odd.
IDW Comics. We have some comics readers in the house. The animated series Sonic X. Sonic X fans.
He was absolutely really good in Sonic X. I absolutely love that.
Sonic Boom, and more recently, Sonic Prime. Now, and he will be making
Something's really odd that they're missing Sonic 2006.
Yeah.
Unless there's something intentional to that.
He's been a fan favorite for many years and has been rival, dark hero, and occasional
About movie 2 and
ally
3?
to Sonic and his friends.
Well, that's still in the future.
The year of Shadow, we'll be seeing more of his story in Sonic X Shadow Generations. But you guys, we're all here to learn more about Shadow today, right? Right? There's some things you might not know. And who
There's always
bears
something you don't know about him.
ultimate life form than his father himself, Takashi Iizuka. Everyone give it up for Iizuka-san, please.
All right.
Now, Iizuka-san, we just went through a brief history of Shadow's appearances in media. Now,
Here's the
what were
concept
his
art and
origins?
original
What
design.
led to his creation? Okay, I think people
Yeah, the
know
Terrio
this
skin.
is-
It's really cool that we're getting the Terrio skin.
シャドウが誕生したのは1999年に開発がスタートしたソニックアドベンチャー2だったんですけども、その時にはソニックに匹敵するライバルを作ろうっていうことで
They also got about
最
forces?
初は考えていたんですけども、
Oh, they did? They didn't show forces?
一緒なんですけども、アメリカに渡米
When the
して
audience was
で
screaming
アメリカ
Sonic
で
2006, yeah, there probably was.
作ったんですけども、
I didn't even
その
notice
時
that.
に
They also had forces
ス
missing.
ポーンとかダークヒーローがすごいアメリカで
Iizuka
人気だったん
deserves
です
more
よ
love.
ね。
This guy is so cool. He literally gets to work at Sonic all the time and make all the decisions about everything. And he absolutely loves Sonic a
Shadow was
lot.
really born in 1999 when we began development on Sonic Adventure 2. In the beginning, we kind of thought, we want a rival
1999,
character,
really?
something to really contrast Sonic. So we need a rival character in this game. But at that time, all of the team flew over to America, and we started living and working in America. And when we got there,
I heard
we
about this
realized
story.
Dark heroes
They
like
started
Spawn were
working
really
on it in
popular
San
America,
Francisco.
and that really inspired us to make Shadow.
You see the
a different
animation
kind of
poster? Yes, I
character. And
did.
that's when we thought we don't want him to be a rival to Sonic. We want him to be a dark hero, and that's really where Shadow was born, from an idea.
But yeah, that concept art looks really cool there.
I think it's really
Especially
cool to
the
have
bottom-
characters
the one on the
like
bottom
Spawn,
left
who's
drawing.
like a character like we in the West are familiar with, be the inspiration for someone like Shadow. I had it in my notes that I was under this impression that he was also inspired by Vegeta from the Dragon Ball franchise. But wait, but Iizuka-san.
Oh yeah, he's
Iizuka-san
shaking his
told me
head there.
that's not
That's certainly not the case.
It's not true. It's not true. So I just wanted to clear that up because I thought that too. But it's super cool that like.
The racing
It's
games?
not,
Yeah,
though.
they
It's
honestly
not,
missed a
though.
bunch of games there. That might be intentional though
What were some
somehow.
of your inspirations about designing Shadow's his
Did they
design
show-
and his personality?
I don't think they even showed Generations
はい
either.
パネル今表示されてますけども、ソニックのダーク版ということで、最初はこういろいろなバリエー
Pre-ordering
ション
Sonic
デザイン
X
を考えて
Generations?
いるん
Yep,
ですけども
I already
これを
pre-ordered it as
サン
well.
フランシスコでフォーカステスト一般の人たちを呼んでフォーカステストを行ってで、
Watching
その中で
Kung Fu
こう
Panda 4?
皆さんの
Yeah, that's a pretty good
意見を
movie.
聞きながら最終的なデザインにこう仕上げていったんですけども、その時
Turn
にこの今こう
it up a little bit?
中
Okay.
央の下にいる固めのこう切れたこれを我々の開発チームではテリオスと呼んでシャドウの次の候補だったデザインですね。
So in the beginning, we had a lot of ideas in putting into a dark Sonic character. That would be the Shadow design, And what you're seeing here are a lot of these sketches that we had that we wanted to bring to a focus test in San Francisco.
Honestly,
to
all
see
6 of those
what
sketches
the
look really
average
cool,
person would
actually.
think about all these different designs. And I believe in the middle there's a character with
Come on, where's
like
the
a damaged
animation?
eye. That was the design of the character that the development team
They'll
Terios
probably
back in
hold
the
on
day.
to that towards the end, I'd assume.
最終的には皆さんの知ってる黒と赤のデザインになるわけです
Sign
け
up
ど
to
も、
newsletter?
この黒
Yeah,
と
that's
赤
a
の
good
デザイン
idea. You
は
gotta
実
sign
は
up
そ
to
の
newsletter
日
to
本の
get
歌
the
舞伎
jam skin.
からインスパイアされたデザイン。
Sonic Frontiers 2
So
for
we
some
did
reason?
also want to
Possibly.
choose kind of black and red as the theme colors for the character, and it was really inspired by the kabuki style of face paint, and that is part of the
Really?
inspiration for
Inspired
Shadow.
by face paint.
それ
That's
と
an interesting
先ほどお
idea.
話したこのテリオスっていうキャラクターなんですけども、この、当時は
Is Shadow
残
good
念
or
ながら
bad?
ボツになってしまったシャドウの前の
Kind of
デザインなんですけど、このテリオスっていうのをこの10月に発売されるソニック X シャドウジェネレーションズの、デラックスエディションのスキンとして実装することを決定しましたので、このゲームでしか遊べないキャラクターということでぜひ、皆さんご期待
Black
くだ
Knight
さい。
Boom series, yeah, a bunch of stuff
We
they
do
missed.
have the design for the Terios character, which was a concept design for the character that didn't make it all the
Imagine
way
a game
through,
called
and
Shadow the
ultimately,
Hedgehog 2. I think
went
this
with
kind
the
of is Shadow the
design
Hedgehog
that everyone
2.
knows and loves. But
Just
coming out
with
this fall,
generations
this October,
mixed into
in
it.
Sonic X Shadow Generations, we are also offering a skin to turn Shadow into Terios, so you can play as Terios inside of the game.
It's honestly really cool that they're doing that. They're adding the Terrio skin to it.
That's really cool. He looks cool, right? He looks.
He honestly does look really cool.
I think it's really cool as a gigantic fan of Sonic the franchise and Shadow to like see artwork of the developmental stages of how Shadow came to be. Is there any significance to the name Terios? Why did you guys settle on that name?
I have no idea.
Yeah, he doesn't even know
was
why
wondering if it
King of
meant something.
Terios is the name. It is a crazy idea.
I think it's really cool that you get to play as the Terios skin in Generations. That's really cool. I'm excited for that. Now, Iizuka-san, can you tell us what makes Shadow different from Sonic?
はい、そうですね。一言で違いを言えばやっぱり
It's honestly not that much that's different there.
けども、
Because a lot of their powers can be similar in terms of speed, but he can use chaos abilities.
ヒーローなんですけども、シャドウは目的のためなら誰がどうなろうと関係ないっていう危うさを持つキャラクターなんですね。だから決してシャドウは正義の
Movie
ヒーロ
Shadow
ー
Skin,
では
that
ない。
would be really cool.
だから道端
Because I think that they plan to do more stuff later on as well. In the winter, there's going to be more stuff they're going to add.
性格の違い、完全に真反対なソニックとシャドウの性格に加えて、でシャドウはもう愛すべき、マリアのために命がけでこの星を守るっていう正義ではないけどマリアが愛した星を守るっていうのが
I
彼
think
の
that
一番の目的なので、そういう
these are probably some of the questions that got submitted to him. Because anyone could submit questions to be
So to
asked
sum
on
it up
this.
in really one word, I'd say, Dark Hero is what really defines Shadow and makes him
Dark
different
Hero,
from
yeah,
Sonic.
exactly. That's a
So
perfect
Sonic will
one.
be a very positive, cheerful, character that's going to go out there and
Exact
do whatever
opposite.
it takes to bring peace to the world. He wants to see justice kind of played out. He's very much a true hero, but Shadow is more of a dark hero. He's going to do whatever it takes to get the job done. He's going to focus on what that thing that he needs
Dark
to do
Hero is better than
and
being
only,
called a villain, I
really
think.
focus on getting that done. So it's not really like it's a little bit of a selfishness, but it's also because he's such a dark hero and he's pushing towards his goals. It really defines him as a character differently from Sonic and makes him unique. And really, when
And
we
Noah,
talk about
unfortunately, I
the
can't do
differences
that.
between Sonic and Shadow, Sonic will do whatever it takes to save the planet because of the justice and really the truth in
Wonder
him
who
as a
the
character.
2D
But
playable
Shadow, he
character in
wants to protect
Shadow
the
Generations?
planet
Yeah,
because
that's a good
Maria,
question. It could
who
be
he's so
anyone.
close to, loves the planet. And so he's doing it out of this love and connection with Maria that he will also do whatever it takes to save the planet. So they're both very much heroes, but it's that dark hero element that really makes Shadow cool and unique.
Yeah, I think the best kind of anti-hero is somebody who has something important that they fight for, because it really gives them a lot of layers. And Shadow's
Yeah,
relationship
exactly.
with
As an
Maria
anti-hero,
is a
that is
really,
perfect.
really cool, integral, central driving
Classic
force
Sonic.
for Shadow.
I feel like
Having that,
classic Sonic is kind of getting pushed off to the side.
super cool.
Shadow's
So
kind of
I
taking
can
his
speak
place.
for many of
There's
us
no
when I
love
say
for
we've all
classic
been
Sonic
waiting
anymore
for
in this game.
years for new pieces of Shadow's past and his backstory. So why are we telling his story now in Sonic X Shadow Generations?
はい、皆さんもご承知の通りですね、今年の12月にいよいよシャドウが出演する映画が公開されます。で、この映画のタイミングでより世界中の人々にシャドウの魅力を知ってもらおうということ
Honestly,
で、
probably the real reason that they're doing this, though, is just so they have Shadow playable in a game just before the movie comes
な
out.
ので、もともとソニックジェネレーションズっていうのはソニックを知らない人たちにクラシックソニック、モダンソニックの良さを知ってもらおうっていうゲームだったので、今
If they
回
can
の
make every character becomes free, yeah, that would be a good idea.
フォーマットだった
But that's why there's always mods, though,
で、
for every
シ
character.
ャドウといえばやっぱり悲しいバックグラウンドのあるストーリーなので、今回のこのゲームでもそのストーリーにはかなり力を入れてますのでご期待ください。
So as you know, this December, we will see Shadow featured in movie 3. It should be a really great movie. And in order
More
to
than
really
just a great
introduce
movie.
everyone to Shadow before we get to the movie, we wanted to release something that could really do that, would be a good vehicle for that. And that's where we thought up Sonic X Shadow
Yeah, this is a good
Generations.
idea, because everyone's going to see the movie, and then they're going to go back and see Shadow playable in the game, and they're going to go all buy this game after the movie comes out.
And it was really like all these great moments from Sonic's legacy in one title. And by adding Shadow into that package, we now are able to introduce Shadow as a character inside of that same game alongside Sonic.
They talked about the
And
Sonic
as
movie. Yes,
everyone
they
knows,
did.
You know, Shadow does have kind of a sad background story, and we did want to spend a lot of time and energy kind of portraying that in the Shadow Generations side of the game.
The middle spike changed a few. Yeah, they did kind of change classic quite a bit, a little bit.
Woo!
I'm getting kind of impatient. I am too, a little bit.
Wow.
But these
Well,
are
I'm
good
really excited.
questions they're
Thank
asking
you so
him.
much, Iizuka-san, for your incredible insight into Shadow. I've been a huge fan of Sonic for many years, and it's been one of the greatest honors of my life to be able to sit here and speak with you directly about Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic. I also think it's the perfect time to show the world Shadow's charm and story. And who better to help us do that than our voice actors?
Yeah, I think maybe they'll go down the panel, and then the
If
last
there's
people
one
are the
thing we know
animators.
about Shadow, it's that his past follows him everywhere he goes. With all these new elements of Shadow being revealed, and we have the upcoming animation, I like to
They
ask
talked
our
about the movie
actors who
because
are breathing new life into these scenes.
it's kinda
into
tied
these
together
moments,
a little
their
bit.
thoughts and experiences with them.
Because the movie is going to help them
You've been
sell
voicing
more
Shadow for,
of this game.
for years now.
Yeah.
Do you do anything new when exploring this like previously unseen?
This is going to be really cool right
I'm
here.
learning more today
Why does he-
than I have learned
The wings.
in years doing Shadow. I mean, I'm getting so much stuff here. It's amazing. I wish I'd been able to sit down with Iizuka-san sooner. Sooner?
Soonier.
Yes, I speak for a living. Thank you very
The
much.
animation now? Yeah, I think they're going to
no, I
ask
mean,
the voice actors first,
Yeah,
then they're going to
over
get to the
because Over the
animators.
years, Shadow has always been very cool and unflappable, and you know, recently I've been discovering different sides of Shadow with the Twitter takeovers and like the Lego commercials. So
Yeah, the Lego commercial. It was so good.
I'm seeing
You went
different-
trending for that, I think.
I'm seeing different sides of Shadow, but as far as the game goes, the cool, unflappable side, there's always been something underneath it. And finally, we're starting to pull out all those things and figure out what is driving that cool, what's driving that unflappable, what's brewing under the surface. So that's what
Shadow
we've
got
been
his
getting,
wings from Black
with this
Doom. Yeah,
game.
most likely.
And the team has decided to let a little bit of that emotion out at times, and it was a lot of fun, you know, doing this game because, you know, playing down, then all of a sudden being able to erupt and let some of that emotion out that's been brewing.
Yeah, this guy's got so much talent. He really is a good voice
I really
actor.
love sort of the methodical, artistic approach you take to Shadow about the emotions and how much to show and how little to show.
And especially for Shadow, yeah,
there's
the
so much,
emotions
I'm
and
sure,
stuff, you
new
gotta be
stuff in this game that
really
reveal
good
more
at
sides
that.
to him that I'm like really excited to see. So
Shadow Wings
from
reminds
the
of
new things
Werehog?
that you've seen, has it
Not
changed your
really.
understanding of the character at all? After all these years, is there anything new that popped up during your performances for the
Oh, well,
for the game?
absolutely. As I was mentioning, up
Don't
until
spoil.
recently, up until recently, I hadn't gotten to explore his history. I hadn't gotten to explore
Shadow had lunch with
what
Black Doom?
happened
That'd be
with
kinda weird.
Maria and how he was created and his whole mission in life.
Yeah.
And that
I feel like they're gonna probably
that is
explore
flushed
the
out
game's gonna
in
explore a
this
lot of
game.
lore
And
that's gone
it's-
unanswered, I think.
but it's been a real team effort. It's all the people at Sega. It's Jack Fletcher, the director, who's incredible, and we've all done this exploration together to try to find it. And what's really cool is that even though there'll be like 8-9 people in on a session, and they're all throwing out what they think we should be doing, what path we should be taking.
Is that a new
and we
image?
all kind of agree, yes, we're
Um,
taking this path. And
I think I've seen that image before,
what's
actually.
really wonderful is that sometimes
Is
after
it
we
new?
do all this work,
Not
and the
sure.
animation
I
gets
thought
done,
I
they
saw
send
it,
back
though.
to us and we go, oh shoot, we missed something.
Yeah, I think
And-
Shadow
and
probably gets the
Sega's
wings from Black
given
Doom.
us the license to go back and go, yes, this is how we fix it. And, because it's expensive to go back into the studio and redo something, but they're taking the time and giving us the opportunity to go back and get it right.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's good that they're taking their time, because it doesn't seem like the game was rushed that much. Because that's usually a good sign that it's probably going to be more polished.
As big of a fan as I've been of this franchise for so many years, this might be like my first time sort of hearing about like how a typical session would go, or like the creative process from like animation to voice to screen, then corrections. It's really like fascinating, and it's really cool to hear like how
Sonic
particular
X
and how
Tales
specific
06?
and how careful
That'd be
and
kind of
precious you
interesting.
are about this franchise and the characters and all the love.
Fix Super
and
Generation
work
Super
that
Sonic
goes into
glitch?
it. And
Yeah,
it's
I'm
really
sure
cool
every
when
single
you
glitch
see
that
it
Sonic
on screen
Generations
and it's
has,
so clear.
they
So,
know of and they're fixing
It's
it.
super cool how much time and attention goes into Shadow. And like, it's cool that the events of this game, I'm sure, alter how like you've played Shadow, and probably have altered how you're going to play Shadow, like moving forward, right? Yeah. So that's super awesome. But I want to take this over to
Shadow looked like
Stephanie.
in pain?
Yeah?
Yeah, probably. Oh, Maria.
Stephanie, Maria is so integral and so important to Shadow's story. She's such a beloved character.
Did Shadow's voice actor make a
You
cameo?
hear that?
I feel like it's a possibility. But I think we would have known if that was the case.
Because we know.
Sonic X Silver Unleashed.
How did you?
Lost World?
how did
I think
you,
Unleashed would be
step
better for
into the
that.
character. How did you find her voice?
I really, thankfully, had our voice director Jack Fletcher and the entire Sonic team. There was a lot.
Alright,
of
thanks for
faces
joining
on
Speedy
the
Blue
Zoom
89.
call when we were recording, and they had so much insight, and they helped guide me in terms of like performance. I think for me, I was like mostly focusing on things like her age and then also her like illness, right? Because
We
the
all
illness
know
can
that
be,
we
like, a
only
real
care
trap,
for
because
when
she has
Maria
these
gets shot.
excited emotions and these concerned emotions, or
That's gonna be the best
not
part of the
in my
game,
story,
probably.
There's certain things that happen, but like,
And
you're
in the
not always
movie,
like, "I'm
the whole
really
crowd's
upset,"
gonna cheer probably
Like,
when that happens.
You have to kind of like gauge when that comes through and when it's not appropriate, when the emotion is so big that it kind of like overrides whatever like physical weakness she might be feeling. And like Kirk said,
Yeah, but it
we
sounds like they're
actually-
really
it
gonna go
doesn't
into a
happen
lot more
I don't
lore in
know
the
if
game.
you guys know this. Like when we
Maybe
record other video
explain
games,
more
it
of the
really
Maria
does happen.
stuff and
You
everything.
go in there and you do your lines and you're like, bye, and then that's it. And then like months later,
The top
it picks
art?
up.
Yeah, that's a
And,
pretty
like,
cool
it
artwork
brought us
there.
back, and we redid the scenes, like sometimes 3 times, or more, because they would tweak things, or they would, and sometimes it was for some
Sonic
kind of,
X
like,
Shadow
physical
Generations and Knuckles
emotion,
animation,
but
yeah.
other times it was like
We're gonna get
the
something here.
character, things like that. So I really relied on them, and they were really.
Shadow got
in terms
scrapped
of
from
the
Unleashed. Yeah,
sweetness,
Knuckles and
like,
Shadow
that
both
was
got scrapped
easy
from the
for me.
game.
You do play a lot of like very
Well,
sweet
no,
characters.
because like I don't know if you could tell this, but like I believe I have. What's really funny? I have a really good friend. She's the complete opposite of me, and we're best friends. She's like
PG
all
rating
humans
for
are
movie
bad.
3 Maria.
Of course, of
I
course
think
this
they're gonna.
person was
That
so
scene's
bad.
gonna be like what happened in Sonic X. I
And
think
and
the
I'm
way
like,
that it's kind of
no,
implied in Sonic
everyone has the
X
capacity for
is
change.
probably the
I
type of way they would do the
believe
scene.
goodness in people.
I can hear it. Can you hear it? Can you hear it,
Here's the
Maria?
thing.
Can you
I
hear it?
really do believe that. So even like when the world is going crazy and like you're seeing horrible videos of people, and I'm really like, everyone can change. Like I really believe that. So yeah.
So it sounds like you were perfect. You were like the perfect. You're a perfect choice for
I
the
can
role.
relate in terms of that.
And from what I know about like you as
Should
an
have the
artist,
Shadow
like, when
Wings
you're
and Sonic
talking
Speech
about,
in there. Yeah, that'd be a pretty cool
performance
idea.
specificity and things like that. You're very specific. And
I'm
like,
really curious though
juggling, I'm sure like juggling.
what the deal is with that. If we're gonna be able to
like,
play
how
as
to
him with
weave
that,
into your
or if that's just
performance
from a
is something
cutscene or
super
something.
specific. And so I really am like in awe of like how you can do that. I'm sure it'll like give her a lot of really cool like nuance. Which I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to
Knuckles
seeing.
and Shadow
Was there any,
originally
like,
were gonna be in
challenges
Sonic
about
Unleashed,
balancing those emotions,
but
with
then they got cut
physicality,
for
like,
some
with
reason.
performances? And like, how did you explore like Maria as a character alongside that?
Yeah, definitely. I think that was the hardest thing is like balancing like the illness and the emotional moments. And honestly, I relied on the team to really guide me because like they had a much clearer vision than I did in terms of like how the scenes
Damn
were
for
playing
Chaos
out,
Emerald.
what the moments
I
needed.
hope that we get that scene
In terms of the pressure,
in here. That would be and if
I'm
they
a
did
little
that
bit of a
scene in the game,
newbie
that'd be
to
really
this whole
cool.
universe. I had no clue until when they said that I was going to be on this panel, and I started getting text messages.
Oh yeah.
From people like telling me like how important this role is, and
It is
don't mess
important.
it
It is a
up.
very important role.
I mean, by then I already did it,
Right.
So I was like, oh gosh, I'm so glad.
Because
I
Maria is
didn't
really
know.
the key to
I think
everything.
if I
That's why
knew, I would have
Shadow
so much
got so mad.
pressure, and I luckily I just could just be in the world, listen to the direction, and
And back when parents
without
gave me another
having to
hour.
be like,
Okay.
oh no, don't mess it up, So
I think that's
Is
something
Shadow
we
going to
always
be
feel whenever
find the
we do
fourth
anything.
emerald
It's always like,
again in
I hope I'm
Generations?
doing this.
That's a
I know lot of people
possibility.
like this thing,
I would assume
I'm
it's something
sure you
similar
killed
where
it.
he
I'm
has to
sure
find
you
all
did
7
amazing.
emeralds
Wow,
like
I should've
Sonic
said that when
does.
it came to Maria, right? Okay, Kirk, Stephanie, from each of your perspectives, how would you guys describe the relationship between Shadow and Maria? I know. Look at them.
What's your favorite Adventure 2 song? Definitely City Escape. That's a really good art piece right there. Shadow and Maria on the Space Colony arc there.
To speak in actors' terms, Maria is my super objective. She is my reason for everything I do. Yeah, she's just everything. And so I was created to protect her. And when I fail that mission, it devastates me, or Shadow.
Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be a lot more of like an emotional tone into the Shadow Generations portion.
Life to protecting Earth because
Oh,
of
I
that.
just
So
realized he's got that
she just
that Sonic hat there. That's pretty cool.
everything to Shadow does.
His driving sort of force.
Yeah, the complete driving force behind his life.
Stephanie?
Okay, so in my mind, when I was thinking about it, I was like, she grew up very isolated. She had like nobody, and other than Shadow. And the thing that I could relate to is that like during the pandemic, when we were alone in our houses, I had my dog. And
I
I'm
wonder
not
if they're
like,
going to
check it
remaster
out, this
Unleashed.
would sound weird.
I think that might be
I
the
have my
next
dog.
game they do.
But my dog is also black and reddish.
Because everyone
tan,
wants it to occur.
But and my dog is super sweet, but he also gets a little too aggressive when he's trying to protect me. See? And so like anyways, it's just the parallels. Anyways, but I do think that like
There are rumors that
and-
Sonic Heroes
and,
Remastered in the
I'm
works.
driving
Yeah,
force
I've heard
that
about those
grounds
rumors for a
him,
while.
so he brings him back to
I don't
like,
think it's true though.
less rabid stage.
Right,
when
right.
he gets worked up. But yeah, that's how I kind of like relate to that relationship.
Yeah, but I don't hump her
But again, the
leg.
levels are going to be in this game show that it's certainly
She
possible they
sort of
can
operates as like his moral center,
really
right?
Yes,
do
totally,
any of the
like moral
games.
compass.
Like Shadow is this incredibly powerful, like being, and that power, if in the wrong hands or with the wrong moral center, can go out of control, right?
Right, unleashed.
Yeah,
Bad, right?
and so Maria sort of like grounds him in that.
Yeah, like
way.
reins him in.
Yeah,
Maria grounds him.
You guys
Yeah,
have a similar
that's
relationship. Like
an interesting way of
who's
saying
the
it.
moral center here between the two of you. See, it's perfect. Amazing. I really love how in depth everyone's answers are. Like as an actor myself, and as an artist, I like it's really cool hearing how everyone works and how you both work with character work and in the booth. So that's super cool. Maria gives Shadow purpose and direction, and I'm sure they both were each other's only friend. Their bond is integral to their characters as
that
well
bond
as the story.
and it breaking.
Speaking of that bond, we are
Certainly does a lot, yeah.
excited to show you that bond in action.
Oh, in action.
In motion. We have an exclusive preview of the animated prologue.
Oh, here it
from
is. Here's
Studio
the
GigX.
animation.
Please enjoy.
All right, here we go.
Professor Gerald made me the ultimate life form. I should be the key to all manner of medicines.
Oh, he looks mad.
You and
This is
Grandfather
animated really well.
are doing your best. I'm just as happy to spend time with you here while you both research.
Those big eyes. Oh, what's this? Oh, this guy's back. I wondered if they were gonna bring him back. Oh, this is animated really well.
Towards Grandfather's lab. Shadow, you have to save him.
Yeah, I'm surprised Emerald is back.
I'll handle this. Just wait here. I'll be back. I promise.
So maybe that's how he gets into Generations instead of the Time Eater. Oh, that looks really good right there.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, we gotta go back once and see that real quick again. We gotta see that again.
Life form. I should be the key to all manner of medicines. Curing you.
But yeah, this is animated really well here.
You and Grandfather are doing your best. I'm just as happy to spend time with you here while you both
But
research.
her eyes look so big there. Where did you watch this? This is live. This is from a panel that they're having. I can't believe that they brought this guy back here. That was really unexpected.
That robot was heading towards Grandfather's lab. Shadow, you have to save him.
Yeah. But yeah, this is animated surprisingly well. But I don't think this is the full.
Just wait here.
This is not the full thing, though.
I promise.
What's so anime? She looks so animated. Anime and voice. That skating animation is also pretty cool right there. But yeah, that animation was pretty good there.
Oh,
That Shadow and Jermel have a difficult past. Possibly. I think they're gonna connect that somehow a little bit. Huh. Oh,
Wow. I have chills. Wow. That
It said 3
was an
episodes
exclusive
coming.
preview
Oh,
of Sonic X Shadows Generations Dark Beginnings from Studio GigX. Give it up for them, guys.
so there's gonna be more to it.
I mean,
Yeah, there's Rouge, there's Omega.
I'm
The
low-key blown
poster's
away.
pretty
That
cool.
was like a minute of animation. That was like a minute. I can't see the rest of it. Now remember, Sonic X Shadow Generations Dark Beginnings is a 3-episode prologue coming out later
3
this
episode.
year. Here I have with me the directors. Oh, you guys are giving up for that? Yeah, 3 episodes.
That's pretty good.
Here I have with me the directors, Alan Wan, Christopher Luck, Kevin Molina Ortiz.
Ryan, Spider-Man No Way
You
Home?
guys,
Yeah, a little bit.
That was crazy. That was cinematic.
Thank you so much.
Like the music, the compositing, the everything. It was amazing.
Everything was
There's
good
so
there.
much to unpack. So let's get started.
The only thing is, I think
Alan,
Maria
what
looked a
makes
little bit funny there. She looked a little
these
too
animated episodes different
anime,
from the
I think.
animations we've seen from Sonic so far.
So when Sega was looking to create these animated shorts to retell Shadow's past for Sonic X Shadow Generations, when we met with executive producer Yukio Kusumoto, he specifically asked for something that's unique and a little bit different, departure of the past iterations. And so Sega had a kind of envisioned something that's a bit edgier, something that's a cross between anime and Western animation. And the
Okay,
three
so
of
they
us
did want it a
all
little more
worked on
anime
Rise of
like
the
that then.
TMNT.
Also took 2 hours to animate.
So we felt very
Yeah, it probably didn't
confident
take
that
too
we
long
can
to
do
animate
this,
it.
'cause we're dying to make some real anime.
Yeah.
So when we, you gotta
Let them cook.
Yeah. But anyways, so we received this really great script written by Ian Flynn, and
Okay, so yeah, Ian Flynn did it again. Yeah, he's
we were thrilled.
comic
to have
book
the
guy, does
opportunity
everything.
To explore a bit more of a darker, more intimate story about Shadow's past. So yeah, we were
Yeah, I guess
super
so, like,
excited about this. But we were
in the other
only
episodes, it'll probably
the
be
production side of
Rouge
the
and
puzzle.
Omega will probably
We
be
also have
in
a
part of it,
partner
I think.
studio named Studio Simage that does the production work for us, led by Matthew
But
Chow.
yeah, that is a pretty cool poster there.
And you know, the stuff that you just saw, like we were able to have a vision, but to execute it, it requires a lot of technical know-how. So we were very happy.
Sorry, mate.
to
That's
have,
all right, Dominator.
To be our partners and their production manager.
Yo, is that all?
OC
Yeah, I
is
think that
amongst,
it's just
the
that
audience, please don't
minute-long animation
You
there.
guys
Thank you
killed
so
it.
much.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
give it up
much.
for the production managers.
Definitely be looking forward to the other 2 episodes when they premiere it later on, I guess.
Okay, cool.
You think Jermel
Chris,
could be his
Kevin, Shadow first appeared
second character in
in
Sonic
the
X
video
Generations?
games, right? So, like,
That's
what was the approach
possible.
to sort of adapting, like, the speed,
I mean,
the emotions,
because he
all
does
the
have
abilities you
a
see
little
sort
bit of a
in the
connection there,
games into
so
animation.
maybe
Was there
Jermo
anything,
could
like,
be
kind of
playable.
challenging or that you found about that, like, surprisingly?
Last episode will be Sonic and Shadow fighting, maybe.
Standpoint. Like, so as we all know, Shadow's a very dark, brooding, lone wolf, what I say, emo character. Right? But he's also one that harbors a lot of grief and emptiness. You know? So as such, like during the story process, a lot of attention was like paid to the overall feel and the mood of these shots. So when you watch the animation, like you'll see a lot more moody shots. We thought it was a great opportunity to like reveal a more personal side of Shadow that's rarely seen, and it's something we feel the audience has been kind of wanting to see for a very long time.
Do we
I want
agree,
more of the
audience?
animation.
Yeah?
I want more of it too. But we're gonna have to wait probably a few months until they put out the other 2 pieces of animation
so
for
for
it.
his like more tangible aspects of his visual.
And hello, Sonic and
persona on
Spider-Man
screen,
Hub.
A lot of his powers and abilities, you know, you play them in game, you see them in cutscenes, but how would they look in a cinematic representation? And so the expansion on that was essentially, our approach was to ask ourselves the question of like, you know, how is the air displaced when Shadow exits a room super quickly?
Yeah,
what
there
does it
was
sound like when his
the
breathing
animation was really good. They
Is it
had like
automatic?
little
Is it
details
sensed
like that.
from the
Yeah,
friction
air
or from
moving
the
out of
speed?
place and
Does it create
stuff.
heat? All of those really like
Those are
intricate
good
questions
details to
helped
have.
us structure and design a new sort of in-depth take on.
But I want to
what you
see.
see in
I'd
this
love to
game.
see like a whole
That's super
animated
cool.
Sonic
Good luck
show,
for that.
animated like that.
And you can see it, right? Like when he ran through the hallway, how the air could have whipped behind him, and
But yeah, that was pretty cool. The
activation
air
of the boots.
went behind him
stuff
like that.
the detail and the emotions. You can feel it in every like frame. It was so cool. So Chris, Kevin, a lot of care clearly was placed into the tone, the emotions of Shadow and Maria and their story. Was there any sort of overall messages that you and the team, that all of you wanted to convey
You think
about these
Jermo was coming
characters
for the
and
Chaos
the story?
Drives?
Yeah, so
That's
I'll take
probably the
from
case.
standpoint, like for the quiet moments again.
I mean, so
very
maybe
careful placement of the
maybe
camera,
he could be a
so,
boss battle. In fact,
more like
maybe we'll have
nuanced,
to
like
battle
more
him,
considered,
or
and the facial
who
acting is
knows
something we focused
what
on
it's gonna
too
be.
as
But
well. We wanted
it's
the
really
acting
cool
to
that
be
he's at least gonna have some type of role at least.
while not being too cartoony or too animated, to preserve like a much more like mature feel.
And for, well, as we've said quite a bit on stage, the bond between Shadow and Maria is sort of an anchor point for the short. It's something we really want to put a lens on because it's, in relation to the more cinematic tone, the idea is to make sure that it not only motivates your character, but you have to ask yourself, how does a character react to a decision or to a decision presented to him based on his trauma, based on his past?
Yeah,
And
that's
so we directed our board artists
that's a
to
good
really
idea.
focus in on the subtext, the subtle acting. Shadow's more than just a grimace and a cool face.
yeah.
Like,
a lot of it
what
really is about
accent can you
emotions
add
and
to that
everything.
that helps
How they
define
pushed
him
it
more
together
than
like that.
Something that helps communicate this heavier tone, and something that can encapsulate the feeling of longing you have for someone that's not there anymore.
Wow. 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 And I'm sure, like, with all these elements put together, the direction, the animation, the acting,
And absolutely, that is absolutely such a cool
giving
poster there,
multiple
though.
layers to something that, like, a deeper layer than maybe even like an audience may understand.
kinda wonder
at
what-
first. Like my understanding of
what
Shadow
Gerald's
may be,
role is gonna be
he's
as
just
well.
Sort of this
If he's just gonna be in, like, a couple
scowly,
cutscenes, or what's he
individual.
gonna do?
Peel back those layers into his past and how he really feels, and give him like a lot more emotion and dynamics, and it creates a very nuanced character. And so it just makes me really excited to watch the prologues. My
Absolutely,
jaw,
it's very
I know your
exciting.
jaw too dropped when I saw the Gizoid, right?
I
Like,
want to see the
that
rest of
was
it.
Crazy.
Now we gotta wait forever
Like, so
till
it's clear there's gonna be like a
they do
lot of
the
like
other part
lore,
of it.
like deep lore in these episodes. So
yeah,
what
there's-
was it like
they're
introducing,
expanding into
like,
the
all these
lore
new
quite a bit
aspects
on
of
this.
Shadow's story to everyone, and like kind of like fitting that in the greater like Sonic mythos, the greater universe? Was it and like, because like me, was there any times you guys fanboyed and what you guys had got to do? you know.
Yeah, so I mean, when we first got the script, I was like, oh, there's so much lore. I mean, we started doing all the Wikipedias and all the fandoms.
Yeah, they
and
really
the more we dwelled
push
in
the
shadows,
lore
Lord
like
of
crazy on it,
Production, we actually
which
realized,
I think is good.
wow, there's a
It's
lot of
good that they're
fascinating
gonna
concept twists
maybe
and turns.
fill some gaps in it and
There's
get
some stories
more
to it, and it
lore
actually got us
all
quite
around.
excited because it was like really deeper than I thought originally. So, as such,
I'm starving right now, but I can't take my eyes off this. Yeah,
and then FLC.
same. I want to see the other two episodes, but we're gonna have to wait probably a couple months for it.
Like Evangelion specifically is like excellent with regards to.
Shadow Story is longer than
visual
Sonic Forces.
storytelling,
It's
reflects
definitely
those
longer
that
than Sonic
compositions,
Forces episode
including a
Shadow,
lot of use of unconventional
but they said it's gonna be shorter than Sonic's overall Generations portion.
Yeah, this type of
So-
visual storytelling that
I
has,
mean,
like, that
maybe
more
6 or
cinematic,
7
more sophisticated
levels
tone.
or something,
You
and
take
3 or 4
everything
boss
you've seen
fights. That's
from
what I would
games,
assume.
Everything you've seen in Shadow's sort of lore and history that's
You know
been
what, I need to
established
go
in the
by. All right,
franchise,
thanks for
you have to ask
joining,
yourself, like,
Logan.
What does this look like in this more
Was
psychologically
it worth it to watch?
complex
Certainly it was worth
iteration
it.
of the character? So even if there are familiar moments, it's portrayed in such a
Yeah,
different
Emerald
way
was definitely
that
part of Shadow's
something
past.
that was familiar may feel new. And so there was a lot of moments of excitement.
Because he was in,
from the whole team for that.
was
Wow.
it Advance
Wow.
or something? I think, I don't remember, but he was in one of those games.
I am equally as excited. I think it's really cool when people who like pour, you can tell when like love is poured into something, especially if you're a fan of it.
Oh yeah, you can definitely. There's a lot of love that went into that.
Thank you, Alan.
They did a really good job
Kevin.
with that.
I can't wait to see all three. I am gonna stay plugged. Thank you so much. Yes. And everyone, please stay tuned. Stay tuned into Sega and their channels for more information on when the prologue episodes will be out. But to show our thanks for everyone who's in the audience today, you should already have your exclusive posters. Yeah, posters.
Oh, and they even got their own posters,
Everybody?
too.
We're good. But if you don't, please see the staff
How long
at
is
the
this,
back
by the way?
entrance.
I
If
think
you
this
don't
is
have your
almost the
poster,
end of it.
Please see them on your way out before you leave to get your poster. With that, we wanted to show some love to our Sonic community and our Shadow community and answer a few community questions that were submitted earlier this spring.
They got the community
And
questions.
they're community Q&A, so yeah. Our first question is from @Zephyr's Sword. Their question is, I don't know if it's
There was a
come
thing
on.
like a couple months ago where you
Their
could
question
submit
is, if
questions.
Sonic likes chili dogs,
Oh,
what does Shadow like?
what is Shadow like? Oh, that's a good question.
Coffee beans? Like straight?
Yeah.
Coffee beans. That's a good answer.
Surely something to rival Sonic, right? Kirk, do you agree with coffee beans, or do you have another answer?
Well, I got something else. I mean, yes, he does love coffee beans.
Coffee?
But
Emerald. I get those two mixed up a lot.
The chili dog's kind of it's junk food, and so he is a hedgehog, so it would have to be something kind of junky, but something very particular to him.
Maybe something healthy.
I think it would be a version of a jalapeno popper.
Jalapeno popper. For some reason,
It would be a jalapeno popper because that's kind of spicy. But in order to darken it up, you know how they got the cream cheese inside there?
Right.
To add a little sophistication and a little darkness to it, you have to
maybe?
have just a little layer of caviar in that cream cheese on the jalapeno popper.
I don't like that idea.
Jalapeno popper.
I feel like maybe like
that's the most
coffee
cursed
beans would
thing.
probably be a good idea, or maybe just like a
The
salad or
restaurant
something.
now needs to make that and call it the Shadow.
Shadow.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, Sonic would like not understand, right? Like, that makes no sense to eat. Hey, Iizuka-san.
Yeah.
How accurate are these answers?
I don't think he doesn't like.
Yeah, he doesn't.
What about the coffee bean?
Yeah, but I heard from Shadow that he loves black coffee.
Broccoli?
Broccoli?
Wow. Broccoli?
Huh. Man, that is a good idea.
coffee.
Oh, black coffee.
Yeah.
Black coffee. That's very him.
Oh.
Black coffee.
Black coffee. That's what he
I
said.
have
makes
to
a lot of
change my whole character.
Coffee beans are, well, there's always Dr.
I can see the
Robotnik's
fan art
Mean
now.
Bean machine.
Shadow of the
Or-
coffee mug. The next question
That's
is
what I was
from
thinking, beans or
Candy
something.
Pirate. At Candy with 2 eyes Pirate. This question is for Mr. Iizuka. During the battle against Final Hazard in Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow ponders out loud that Sonic might be the real ultimate life form. What made Shadow associate Sonic with this title?
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know he said
And
that.
remember, Shadow gets amnesia almost right after this. So does he remember ever telling Sonic? Does Sonic remember? Like, I don't know.
そのシーンっていうのは最後のファイナルリザードを
He's gonna
スーパー
try
シャド
to
ウとスー
make
パー
up an
ソニック
answer on the
二人でこう
spot,
倒
I
した
guess.
シーンの後なんですけども、スーパーシャドウはその時にこう力尽きて、最後こう地球に落ちていくっていう時にソニックに対してお前が究極
So Shadow Generations won't be as long as Sonic Generations? It's definitely going to be shorter.
シャドウが
That's
命が
what
尽き
everyone has said, at
自
least.
覚したからそう
I mean, it's probably still going to be a
結
decent
局彼は
length.
生きてた。なので、
If
いやいやいや、やっぱり
Generations
ソニック
is
じゃなく
like
て、
9
俺こそが
levels, I think it's maybe about
俺こそが
6 or 7
究極生命体だと
levels,
いう
maybe 3 or 4
ことで
boss
今なってます
fights. So a little bit
yeah,
shorter.
In that scene, we have Super Sonic and Super Shadow both fighting to defeat the final hazard. And, in that moment, Shadow is kind of out of energy. He's falling to Earth. He feels defeated. But Super Sonic is not defeated. And so in that moment, he thinks, maybe Sonic is the ultimate life form. But in the end, he doesn't die. And so he changes his mind and says, actually, no.
Never mind,
I have
it's
the ultimate
me.
Yeah,
light.
he says, never mind, of course.
I love that. That's actually a good answer. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, that kind of is a good answer, I
love how
guess.
he wakes up, he's like, never mind.
I'm
it's
so
actually
hyped,
me.
please don't be like Sonic Forces.
Yeah, I
It's
knew it. It
definitely
was me
more
the whole
than
time.
that. I mean, they've shown like 4 or 5 levels already.
Our final question is from @pink_rose.
Final question. That was only like
what does Shadow like to do
Couple
as
questions.
a relaxing hobby? Does Shadow relax? Is
He
Shadow
does not relax.
Capable of relaxing?
Shadow doesn't
I
relax.
think absolutely.
Yeah, he relaxes.
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
He's always
I was like,
serious.
I don't know. He doesn't seem very relaxed.
Well,
What would he do? What would he do? What do you
I think he might do Tai Chi
Okay.
That's a weird answer.
really, really fast.
Really
Fast. Well, yeah, that's
So
obvious.
that he starts here,
and then ends there.
and
It's
like,
still a weird
so
answer,
what do you think
though.
of the routine?
Right.
You can't even see it. It's so
Right.
fast.
I know that like Maria and Shadow, their dream
I would
was
think
to,
that
like, go to
Shadow
Earth,
would just
and I think that could be
go into an empty room and
right?
stand
Like,
there.
If that were
That's how he
to
relaxes.
happen with the two of them, what do you guys think they would do?
I feel like it would have to be something that like they can't do on the arc, right?
Right.
So like go swimming because I don't think there's like a pool.
A beach
Or
episode.
yeah, like a beach vacation. I think Maria would want to like hang out with the animals.
Iizuka's like,
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
She would just like eat ice cream and binge
You got a good
Netflix.
stream idea? Okay.
I was like, oh, maybe ice cream, you know? Amazing. Well, we are almost at time. Thank you so much to our panelists, Iizuka-san, Kurt, Stephanie, Alan, Chris,
Yeah, that was
Kevin,
pretty cool right there.
all of you.
Yep.
We love you. You have all been an excellent, excellent crowd. You guys are incredible.
I wish they would have more questions,
thank you.
though.
Please
It's only
follow
4
the
of
Sonic
them.
social channels. Stay up to date with Sonic X Shadow Generations. Don't forget to stop by the Sega booth in the Exhibitors Hall at booth 3720 to pick up some exclusive Shadow merch they have this weekend. There's a cool
It's too bad they're not
pin,
gonna show
there's a
anything
couple
else out of
pins,
it.
There's some posters, some shirts. If you're excited to see Shadow's story like I am, Sonic X Shadow Generations will be out October 25th, 2024. That's actually my birthday.
I've already pre-ordered it, so I'll definitely be
It's
playing it
available for
on the
pre-order
22nd.
right now on all platforms. The digital deluxe edition will include that very cool Tyrio skin that Iizuka-san mentioned earlier. If you sign up for the Sonic X Shadow,
should do a
X
stream
Shadow
if you
Generations
die in
newsletter,
classic Sonic
you'll
Simulator, you
receive
have to
the
end
Sonic
it.
Jam
Yeah, that's not a
Legacy
bad
skin.
idea.
Yeah, the Sonic X Shadow
This is really cool
Generations
here, the
launches.
Sonic Jam Legacy skin.
Now, before we say goodbye, I see people leaving. Don't leave yet. I want us to do a group chaos control. Yeah? Can we do a chaos control? I brought
It's control,
the chaos
yeah.
emeralds as well. Can we please? Can we please? Okay. That's so cool. Put the emerald down? Did you guys want to hold an emerald?
Yeah, sure.
Imagine if Tyrios was an SSS. You know, that's possible. I feel like that might be a possibility that could happen.
All right, cool. Emeralds for everybody. Emerald. Emerald. Oh, look, you get one too.
Oh, they're all getting emeralds there. You know what? There is 7 of them there.
Okay, and I want to take a picture. All right, I do. This is super cool. Okay.
Hey,
Chaos
Jake, will
Blast
Sonic X Shadow Deluxe be on
instead?
Switch? I would assume so.
Control. That's the main one. That's the main one. Okay. On 3, we're gonna do chaos control. Okay. Everyone, you guys want to look? Here. Or all right. Yeah. Okay. 1. Wait. How do I do this? Holding this
Did they
mic.
add Sonic Jam to SSS? Yeah, that's another one. There's a
We'll figure it
lot
out.
that they could add.
1, 2, 3.
Chaos control.
Wow, that sounded exactly like Shadow there. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys.
Okay. Well, looks like that is it. That was pretty cool. I mean, so at least we got that animation. I mean, But it's a shame that we didn't get too much else. I mean, it was only about a minute long, but I really liked that animation. It was pretty cool. But we'll have to wait for the other 2 episodes of it in whenever that is. So I think with that, I'm going to go and wrap things up. So, yep, massive W, it certainly was. Alright, with that, that's going to do it for this live stream. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and remember, you gotta go fast.